everybody, welcome back to the kitchen. I'm Jo Michaels, the baking author, and tonight we're making Swiss potato soup. This is a recipe my dear friend Kelly Risser sent me, and so I have her recipe all printed out. And we're going to read through it and then we'll get to making our soup, okay? It's like 2 o'clock, so this soup is going to cook for a good long time. I like soups that are allowed to sit and just get happy. So, you need 6 thick slices of bacon, which I have, cut into half-inch pieces, 2 large leeks, thinly sliced, 2 cups of minced onion, 3 medium potatoes, peeled and cubed, 1 large turnip, peeled and cubed, 6 cups of chicken broth, 1 cup of sour cream, freshly ground pepper, salt, and snipped parsley. Okay, it says, fry bacon until crisp, remove bacon, add leeks and onion to hot fat and saute covered until tender. Add potatoes, turnip, and chicken broth. Heat to boiling, reduce heat, simmer covered until potatoes and turnip are tender. Puree in blender or with immersion blender, return to pan and reheat to boiling. Remove from heat and stir in sour cream with a whisk. Season to taste, then add your reserved bacon and garnish with parsley to serve. Okay, seems pretty straightforward. So what I'm going to do right now is peel my potatoes and my turnip and cube them, and then slice up my bacon. I do have an immersion blender somewhere. It's over there, I think. So we'll just get going from right there. I will start by doing my hard vegetables, and I will be back with you guys after I get that done. If you notice I have a glove on my hand, it's because I nicked my finger on the pan the other day. Don't ask. I am the clumsiest person on the planet. If there is a way to cut myself, I'm going to do it. I once sliced my finger open on a pickle jar. So if you, I was taking the plastic off the outside and I cut my finger on that. So if there's a way to cut yourself without a knife, I'm very careful with my knives. If there's a way to cut yourself sans knife, I'm going to find it. So I will cut this stuff up, pray I don't cut myself, and I will see you guys after that, okay? Be right back. Hey guys, really quickly just wanted to let you know, the number of potatoes is not so much I think as important as the amount of potatoes. It said 3 large potatoes, but I didn't really have large potatoes. I had like mid-size and like kind of smallish ones. Not like tiny ones, but like smaller. So I just did 5 between this size and this size until I felt like it was equivalent of 3 very large potatoes. So just because you don't have them doesn't mean you can't make up with what you do have, okay? I'm going to finish cutting this up. I'm almost ready. And then my pan's preheating. I just turned it on like medium, a little bit low, like 6-ish. So once I get done, we will get to cooking our bacon and then move on with everything else. I'll show you how I cut up the leeks and the onions, what size, and we'll go from there. I'll see you in just a few minutes. Hey everybody, welcome back. All my vegetables are cut. I now have my bacon on my cutting board. Didn't want to do that in the reverse order, even though I am cooking everything. So now I'm just kind of slicing this bacon. It might be a little more than 6 slices, but you know what? It's bacon. So I'm not going to complain, and neither should you. Yeah. I mean, after all, we're after the grease and the reserved bacon to go on top of the soup once we're done. So these might be a wee bit bigger than 1/2 inch, because I do like to see my bacon. So bacon pieces, I cut them about, whoa, those 2 are stuck together. Of course I would grab the ones that are stuck together. About that big, and I'm fixing to just toss them in this pot. Beautifully preheated, darling. Beautiful. I love it, the sizzle. Bring it on. Okay, now I'm going to wash my hands, and I'll be back. We'll get to like doing this. I'll get a plate, cover it with a paper towel. Be right back. Okay, I am back, and here we are with our bacon. It's doing a beautiful sticking job on the bottom of my pot. I like it when meat sticks to things because then you just get to have some fun scraping it off there. And you get all those little meaty bits in your soup or whatever. Yum. So, I'm just going to leave that right there. My leeks and onions, my onions are like diced to about 1/4 inch. They're pretty small. And then my leeks, I just shaved the bottom part. I'll show you how much was left. Let me show you. I cut about that much off the top of the leek. Because that seems to be where the dirt started to accumulate. I don't want dirt in my food. You know, I mean, God made dirt so dirt don't hurt, but I don't really want to put it in my soup. I don't want that grainy taste in my mouth. So my turnips, about 1/2 inch cubes. The same thing with my potatoes. I ended up with about 4 cups of potatoes and about 2 cups of turnips. And that's probably 2 cups of leeks and 2 cups of onions. Now I have my chicken broth here. Each one of these is 4 cups, so I'm going to use 1.5. My parsley's still over there. I haven't even messed with it. It doesn't go until the end anyway. And again, I'm just going to cook this all day. Like, it's 2 o'clock. We eat around 6. It'll cook till then. I will probably take it off the heat and immersion blend it after it gets a little cooler, because you don't really want to immersion blend hot things. They tend to kind of pop and you will be in trouble. Like if they splash or get on you. So make your soup well ahead of time. Let it sit and marry. I'm probably going to throw a little bit of rosemary in here because I have this flatbread that we're going to have with our dinner. It smells beautiful, and it has some rosemary in it. So I would kind of like to copy those flavors over to this. I like mirroring my flavors in everything. So if I have a side of like green beans, I would probably cook them with some bacon or chicken broth and rosemary or something, just to kind of make the flavors happy and, you know, pair well with everything else. And I'm not saying you need to serve green beans with this. What I'm saying is mirror your flavors. It will make you a much happier person in the long run. So Kelly says this is a very hearty soup, and she serves it with a garden salad and some crusty bread. I'm serving it with some nice soft flatbread, and that's pretty much it. We will have it with the bacon bits and maybe some green onions on top, because I really like green onions. Like, I really like green onions. I'm guessing I will like leeks. I actually have never had a leek, so let's see what they taste like. When I was cutting them, I thought, this looks like an overgrown green onion. The flavor's similar, but it's a little bit milder. Ooh. Wow, till it hits the back of your throat. Holy moly. And it's got like a sweetness to it. It's kind of like a turnip. Man, let me tell you, I was cutting those turnips, having flashbacks to when my boys were little. They used to go dig we had a garden just for turnip greens. Every now and then we dig the turnips and eat those too. I love a turnip, especially fried in a pan with some onions, so they like get caramelized and sweet. Oh, they're so good. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so I was cutting the turnip, and the smell reminded me of my boys. They used to go dig the turnips, because we grew the turnips for the turnip greens, and they would peel them with their teeth. We ended up getting them pocket knives, but they would peel them with their teeth and like eat the turnips just as a snack as they were running around the farm. Yes, this is my family. Welcome to my insanity. I have 4 sons, by the way, and a daughter. My eldest son is in Hawaii at the Army base there on Oahu. My second eldest son is attending college in Ohio. He goes to Ohio State. My next one is actually getting ready to start HVAC school, and my youngest one is a data scientist. My daughter, I'm bragging on my kids here. My daughter is a straight A honor student at her high school, and she's in like all advanced classes. The one class she's struggling with right now is AP Bio. I told her when she signed up for it that it was a hard class, and she was like, I've got this. So we'll see. She's carrying a C right now, which is passing, but I mean, it's not great. So she may or may not be getting a job in the winter. Of course, COVID's not really helping. It's making everybody a little friggin' nutso, and she's having a really hard time adjusting. This is her first year in high school. She's just like, it's so hard on her, I think, because like they didn't do any kind of hybrid anything at first. They just went back to school, and then she kept getting exposed to the virus, so they would quarantine her for 14 days. So she'd have to come home and stay home for 14 days. Well, nobody was prepared for the distant learning crap. So she would do her assignments, or her teachers would forget to give her her assignments, and they just wouldn't grade the assignments that she did. And so she would sit and wait and wait and wait for some feedback or something, and it wouldn't come, and she would just get super duper frustrated. And then she would go back to school and she'd catch up, and she'd be back to an A average, and then they'd quarantine her again. Finally, they went to like a hybrid model, and that was working really well. And then they decided, nope, everybody's got to come back to school full time. So that's what she does. She goes 5 days a week, full time. Luckily, it hasn't been terrible here with the kids, just one now and then. But she said nobody at her school wears a mask. Yeah, we wear a mask everywhere we go, because they have me at home. They don't really have a choice. All right, I'm adding my onions and my leeks to the fat as directed. I love bacon fat. It makes everything taste better. And I'm guessing when I add my broth, all those little yum-yums that got caught on the bottom of this pan will cook up. Here's the bacon. Nice and crispy. I'm going to put it over there so I don't eat it, because you know I'm dying to right now. Alright, it says cook these until they're tender. And my leeks are kind of shaved. Like, I kind of shaved them with my knife, so they're really thin. It said thinly slice them. I did my best. I really am a fan of onion soup. I love me an onion. But I can't do what my sisters can do. My sisters can take like a yellow onion, like a Vidalia onion, and just eat it. And I can't do that. Ugh. I can't imagine having that much onion in my mouth at once. But green onions are different. They're a little bit sweeter, a little bit milder in onion flavor. Okay. This says cook them until they're tender, then add the potatoes, turnips, and chicken broth. Heat to boiling, reduce heat. Alright. So until these are tender, I'm going to wash some dishes, and then I'll be back with you guys, and we will continue adding our potatoes and our turnips and our lovely chicken broth. I'm also going to add the salt and pepper after I add the chicken broth, because that's really when it needs to go in. It's chicken broth. Okay, so I will see you guys then, and until then, like, hang out, keep an eye on your leeks. You know, okay, that just reminded me of those commercials that they have right now. Like, we have an ant problem, and it's all the ants, like Aunt Joni and Aunt Joan and Aunt Barbara. Leeks. We have a leek problem. There's leeks growing everywhere outside. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna go wash my dishes and clean up my sink, and I'll be back with you guys when this is tender. See you then. Hey guys, I'm back. My onions and leeks are cooked and soft and caramelized, and man, they look good. So now we're going to throw in our turnips. It's 2 cups of turnips-ish. And we're going to throw in our potatoes. It's like 4 cups of potatoes. Gotta love it. I'm going to give this a stir before I add the broth. Look at that. Looks like some yummy sauerkraut and like pork happening in there. That is one of my favorite pairings, by the way, is sauerkraut and pork. Hit me with it anytime, baby. You know one thing I don't miss? Picking up potatoes. That's some back-breaking work. We only grew potatoes once. And then we had potatoes for like 2 years or something. It was crazy. Well, we might have grown it twice. I keep hitting that cut on my finger. Oh, it's not happy. I'm so glad these don't have pull tabs. Alright, that's about half the container. We're guesstimating. gonna be a little more, be a little bit less. It's not gonna kill anybody. Okay. So freshly ground black pepper and salt. Since all of these are veggies, and I don't really have to worry about salmonella poisoning or, yes, I'm banging around again. Salmonella poisoning or, what did you get from pork? Can't even remember. Trichinosis or any of that stuff. I'm putting a lot of pepper in here. I love it. I'm gonna taste this after I add the pepper. And turn my heat up to high, so it will come to a boil. Then I'm gonna turn it all the way down to low and put a lid on it, and I will walk away for like 30 minutes while those potatoes and turnips get all nice and soft. Spoon. Also, once it boils, that's yummy. Also, once it boils, I'm gonna kind of scrape the bottom of the pot to get all those delicious little yum yums up. It does need salt. It also could use some more pepper. Salt. That's about a teaspoon. Of course, salt. Gonna put some more pepper in it too. I love pepper in my soup because, especially like a potato soup, because the pepper really brings out the flavor. Potatoes don't really have a taste, so I mean they do, but not like in your face taste. I'm really surprised this soup didn't use cream. I mean, it has sour cream in it later, but I don't really see the acid either, so we may throw a little vinegar in there. Better. Time to put in my rosemary. I don't know why they put a shaker. I've said that before, but oi, how dumb is that? Why would you put a shaker on rosemary? This is all going to be immersion blended, so I'm not going to go overboard with the rosemary. That was maybe a half a teaspoon, maybe. But I'm also going to shake in some tarragon. I just like the flavor. In all my soups, they get tarragon. Once I add it to my chicken soup, oh my lord, game changer. My chicken noodle soup went from to ha-ha. So buy yourself some tarragon. You will thank me later. Those things like to wrap around my spoon. That's good. Needs just a touch more salt. Of course, I'm not going to put that much, maybe a quarter of a teaspoon, because we're going to top it with bacon. And then that sour cream also has a little bit of saltiness going on. Let me put that in later too. That needs to go to the fridge. That needs to go to the trash. These need to go in the sink. You can pop that in the fridge too. This is the point where you adjust your seasoning until you get it to where you like it. Remember, you're going to have bacon. Remember, you're going to have sour cream. So those things are going to change the flavor slightly. And an immersion blender is also going to change the flavor. I know that sounds crazy, but it does. It makes it a little more melded. The hell? Rosemary. Okay. Alright, okay, yep, alright. Okay, as soon as this boils, I'm going to turn it down to low, pop a lid on it, and walk away till the potatoes and turnips are done. And I will be back with you guys once the soup kind of cools so I can immersion blend it, and we'll be ready to rock and roll with the sour cream. I will see y'all then. Hey everybody, I'm back. As you can see, our soup is done. Well, it's like my potatoes and turnips are soft and pliable and beautiful. They're beautiful. Now I have my immersion blender. It's an Oster. I hate this blender. It's terrible. It slings stuff everywhere. So let's do our best, huh? I have like high speed and like low speed. So this has been cooling for a little while too. So I have found that if I tip the pot on its side, it works a little bit better because this sits in the little groove at the bottom. Here we go. This is going to be loud, okay? That's hot. So yeah, I suppose you noticed the motion of my hand. What I was doing was keeping this part on the lip, like between the bottom of the pot and the side, and then moving it side to side, not picking it up. Because once you pick an immersion blender up, it goes whoa, and stuff goes everywhere. And then you have a serious problem. So I've splashed myself with hot soup more times than I care to admit. So just don't do it. It's not fun. Alrighty, after we get this back on here, I had to cool it to immersion blend it. Let's taste it. That's a lovely soup. And it's nice and smooth now, no chunks. I blended everything up. And after I added my chicken broth, I did kind of scrape the bottom to get all the little bacony yum bits off of there. It was so good. And of course that's going to help this emulsify too once you like blend that grease, that bacon grease in with the turnips, potatoes and stuff. Okay. It says reheat to boiling. Alrighty, and then we will add our sour cream, and we need a cup of that. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that and be ready to add it because we're just going to take this off the heat and then add the sour cream and we'll be good to go. It's about 4 o'clock, so we've been cooking all day. And I'll grab that. I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, got sour cream. Yay! I'm probably going to lick this lid, even if there's just a drop on there. Sour cream happens to be one of my favorite things. And I get that from my mother. My mother, they used to deliver milk in bottles when she was a kid, and the cream and the milk would separate, and she would sit and eat all the cream off top, and it was like, this is what it was. So we were both kind of nuts for sour cream. Love that stuff. I'm still at my flatbread over here that I'm like picking pieces off of. So I'm gonna dip that, a little corner of that, into my soup and give it a taste. See how it tastes with the bread. Okay, I can't wait to feed this to my family later. They may not like that oniony flavor, but I do. Just kind of glad that my stepson isn't here tonight because he hates onions. Probably wouldn't tell him the onions were in there. Just feed it to him. Yes, I do. Yes, I do that. I cut up onions so tiny and he doesn't even know they're in there, and so he eats it and he's fine. He's like, this is really good. I'm like, got a ton of onions in it. Like, that's the predominant flavor. But it's like if he could see them, there's some mental block or something. It's so funny. Kids are great, but they can be such pains in the butt. Anyway, whatever. I can't wait to see what happens when I add the sour cream to this. Oh, I did want to add a little bit of acid too. So let me grab some vinegar. Hang on just a second. Okay guys, I got my white wine vinegar. I'm not going to add a whole lot, just like a little sprinky dink. That was probably like half a teaspoon maybe. Just felt like it needed some acid. Because I got salt. And I got fat. Some acid in there. All right, we're boiling. Taking it off the heat. Ugh, my pot's about this full. This is my soup pot. So don't get salty. You need a good soup pot. Everybody needs a good soup pot. It's good for gumbo. It's good for soup. Be nice if I could see. Oh, I gotta whisk this in. I need my whisk. Okay, here we go. I'm guessing at a cup. That was about a half a cup. All right, that's about a cup. I didn't do that. Oh my God. I love it. It's so good. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try not to cut my finger on this pan again. It wasn't this pan that cut me. It was one of my others. That was a real bummer. I was making shrimp and grits. Well, sausage and grits. I didn't have any shrimp. Can't find shrimp. If you can't find shrimp with the heads on, what's the point? Because the heads and the shells make beautiful stock. And then you can cook the grits in the stock and it's so delicious. So yeah, I did Kunas style shrimp and grits. A little roux gravy. It's pretty amazing. Okay. Sour cream whisked in. Guess what I'm going to do? That's right, I'm going to taste it again. It's very thick. Yum. So this is going to sit right here on my counter. I can't decide if I want to add some more salt or not. I don't want it to be too salty because we're going to top it with bacon and some of that parsley from right there. It is now wilted because it's been sitting on the counter for so long. I forgot about it. Anyway, okay. I'm going to leave the lid on this soup and just let it ride. So there you have it. I will be back with you guys later. We will have a bite ski once I put it in a bowl with our lovely flatbread. Flatbread. Anybody want to have a flatbread? I love her. She's like the funniest comedian ever. So anyway, I'll be back with you guys then and we'll have a bite and we'll see what we think, what our final destination is, what our final opinion is, and that'll be it. So there's your soup, Swiss potato soup. I hope you guys like this. We'll get into that later. I'll see you then. Hey guys, I'm back. It's been a few hours. It's now like 6 o'clock, a little after. I have my bacon in my soup here and my snipped parsley. And we are going to try this bad boy. I like it. The bacon overpowered the flavor of the soup. It has a very mild flavor. It's not super oniony. There we go. Getting a little bit of that fat from the sour cream, but it's not like, you can't like taste it. The turnip is a nice like undertone. Kind of hits your palate second. All in all, I would call this a damn good success. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you try this soup, comment below and let me know how you liked it. Soup and winter go together like peas and carrots, so give it a whirl. If you share, tag me. I'm at Right Joe Michaels everywhere, literally everywhere, WRITE. And if you see the right, you have the right one. Don't forget to subscribe. The button's here or there, somewhere. I don't know. It'll pop up in a minute. And check out some of my other videos. Be sure you download my cookbook because that's a quick reference guide to get to any of these videos and you know what's in them. All right, I will see you guys next week. Until then, keep cooking. Be good.